Hey, Pastor Danny Coverstone, and I'm going to share a part of a dream that I had on September 14th, 2020. There was a reason I didn't share it. I'm not going to go into that. It was connected with some other things in the dream that I'm not going to share as well. But it was about an earthquake, and I'm just going to share it because I've had a lot of requests about it. I did share it this last weekend when I was in Topeka, Kansas. And here's what I saw once again, September 14th, 2020. I saw a shimmering of the Great Lakes, and the water appeared to go out of the bowl and then spread back in the shores several hundred feet in, crashed back into the lakes. It appeared as if there had been an earthquake under the central point of the area of the Great Lakes, but of a very, very significant depth. And I also saw at that moment the Rocky Mountains were trembling, and all the coast of the coast of California was completely shaken with that same shimmering type of surface disturbance. Like I was seeing, it looked like I was standing on top of the Rocky Mountains looking at it. It was like shimmering. Like when you're driving down the road and you see that heat on the asphalt miles ahead, it kind of looks like air, kind of like something's moving. That's what it appeared to be. And there was this mass chaos mentality at work, as it seemed a very, very big earthquake had just hit the Southern California area in the same time frame. I also saw all 5 boroughs in New York with significant fires, and those fires have started in Manhattan. Also, I'm going to skip the next part. The clouds began to churn, and they were mixing with smoke from the fires from New York, and it looked like it was boiling over out of there. And then I saw the clouds began to turn red and ashen, opened up, and it revealed Mount Rushmore. And Mount Rushmore was just there in all its glory, gray clouds behind it, fires in the background. And the face of George Washington spoke out loud and said, "Hold the fort, toe the line, fight." And the clouds covered Mount Rushmore, the monument, again, but the sun came out and it started to rain. So it's raining, and then I saw the Christ-type man that I've seen. He was walking along the National Mall, and he spread his arms out, just like put his arms out wide. And he said, "Now it's up to you, church." So once again, that was September 14th. And I had one last night, and I haven't even written it down yet. But I've been up since about 2:30 thinking about it, praying about it. I saw a bunch of people holding a wall, pushing against the wall. It's like they were supporting it. And behind that wall was a huge bunch of water. And I saw hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people just holding that wall, pushing it, holding the wall tight. And you could see the wall shifting and moving, and it would sometimes push people back, and they would re-brace themselves against the wall and hold it. And as people were doing that, I could see that some of them were like, their cell phones would ring, and they kept looking back, being distracted. Finally, one person steps away from the wall, puts his phone out and says hello, and starts to talk, and gets involved in communication, just kind of walks off. Other people were starting to say, "Hey, I've got I've got something to do, I've got this and I've got that," and basically announcing where they were, what was going on, with what was happening. And they had to go. And so little by little, people are walking away from that wall. And every time that someone walks away from the wall, there's a gap in the wall. And as it happens, the wall begins to spread, and the people have to re-brace themselves and push harder. So now you've got fewer people holding that wall. And remind me of the stories from Amsterdam and the dike in the wall, and the little boy plugging the hole and holding the wall. That's what I was seeing. I think that the interpretation was very clear to me on that. It was simply this. We've been holding the wall since September, and we cannot stop holding that wall. We can't walk away from it. We can't be distracted. We have to keep praying. We have to keep seeking. We have to keep fasting. We have to keep trusting the Lord. I have a pastor friend from Pakistan, who told me this last weekend in Topeka, Kansas, that he is going to pray and fast through the inauguration. And I think that's probably a good plan. So once again, Christians, we cannot step back from holding that wall in place. And we are keeping a lot of things from happening in this country. And if once we get to this election process, we say, okay, we're done. We cannot stop holding that wall. And I think that's what Washington was trying to say in the dream part of it, was hold the fort, toe the line, and fight. I'm not going to just lay down and be ran over. We don't know what could happen tonight. with the elections, or how long. I haven't even looked at any news this morning as far as the last couple hours. But we need to be holding the wall, holding our position and staying braced. Even in the breathe room, I saw people who were doing everything they could to stay braced. They weren't breathing; they were holding their breath. They weren't panicking. But even the voice said, stay braced, but don't breathe yet. So keep fighting, keep holding the wall. Don't move from your place. We've got too much stuff to pray about, too much stuff to fast about. We cannot let down, okay? So that's what I got.